Welcome to episode number 305, where I'm speaking with my client Renata about her journey with Ayurveda. She talks about going through the Digestive Reset Cleanse and how surprised she was at how full she stayed throughout the cleanse without any cravings, and how the cleanse changed the way she lives her life today. So please stay tuned. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. Hello and welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Renata, who is a client of mine and has been on this journey with Ayurveda, and she's going to share her experience today. Renata, welcome to the podcast, and thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Hello, Colette. I'm happy to be here.
Well, Renata, it's a pleasure. And let's start with introducing yourself to the listeners. Can you tell the listeners a little bit where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Renata Boyd, and I'm originally from a very small northeastern European country in the Baltic region of Europe called Lithuania. And we're known for great basketball players and amber. And currently I reside on the Outer Banks, which is chain of barrier islands of the coast of North Carolina.
Beautiful.
On the Atlantic Ocean. And the Outer Banks has beautiful white sand beaches, lighthouses, wildlife, fantastic sunsets and sunrises. It's pretty much a little paradise on earth.
Sounds divine. Sounds absolutely wonderful. And how long have you been there?
I've been there over 15 years. I'm in retail business, and my husband and I own and operate a chain of multiple stores on the Outer Banks. Spare time, we enjoy our home and enjoy the beauty of our island. And my passion is traveling. So I'm not working, I'm exploring the world.
Right. And that was one of the things you mentioned when we connected is you were traveling a lot. So can you tell us about when and how did you discover Ayurveda?
So, first time I discovered Ayurveda about 3 years ago when I did my yoga teacher training. I learned about it, and since then I wanted to learn more about it. And so I was fortunate to find you, Colette. I found your podcast easy to follow and understand. And prior to discovering you, I have attended local workshops on Ayurveda and read a few books, but your podcast truly brought it all into perspective for me.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad it was helpful to you.
I would literally listen to your podcast while driving to work.
Oh, well, great. I'm glad you found it helpful. That's music to my ears. And so we connected first, I think it was May 23, May of this year, right? And can you tell me a little bit about, that journey, like why you reached out and why you decided, okay, I want to implement more Ayurveda into my life?
Well, I was always into health and wellness. But I knew I wanted to learn more about Ayurveda and learn more about myself in general. And that's how I got in touch with you. And remember, we had a first meeting.
Yeah, we had the consultation, didn't we, in May to start with?
Yeah. Which that gave me a better understanding, really, about myself. Or you gave me a lot of tips of what to do, how to improve my health in general. Although I've been always into health and wellness and yoga, I still struggled with some health issues, and especially my digestive system. And I knew something needed to be done about that.
Yeah. So we put together a
Yeah.
strategy, particularly for your meals, and you travel a bit for work, like you're traveling,
Mhm.
as you said, between all these retail stores and so on. So you're on the road a lot, right? With your job.
Yes, yes. So, um, by getting into it, I started implementing more of a healthy habits, like for instance, having lunch that I would
Right.
skip a lot of times,
Yeah.
or incorporating more healthy fats into my diet, which I realized my diet was lacking,
Yeah.
and just a lot of daily routine habits as well, which were very beneficial.
Yeah, and looking back in your notes, I know we were connecting after your consultation. I was just checking in to see how you were doing. You said just from those habits that you switched, that you said you were you saw very positive changes in your life so far. You were sleeping better, improved
Yeah,
digestion, elimination, and the cooked meals with digestive spices and the good fats made a big difference, you said, and the regular meals, right? Because like you said, you would be
that's
driving
right.
between stores and sometimes like, I won't bother with lunch.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And it's and prepping food. That was another thing. Just prepping food
Yeah.
and having something for lunch for myself was a big deal.
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. And yes, and I'll bring the spices. I feel like before I used all wrong spices in my cooking, and
Okay.
now I have a better knowledge of what spices are better for my type,
Mm-hmm.
for my body.
Right,
Hmm.
right. Great. And so then that was in May. And then in July, you reconnected because then you decided, okay, I want to go forward and do the cleanse.
Yes, yes. And I kind of always wanted to do a cleanse, but because of traveling, it was hard to find that time
Mm.
to do the cleanse. So finally, I said, well, you know what? I think this is the right moment. Let's do the cleanse. And that cleanse was life changing. That truly was life changing because
Mm.
it gave me through the whole entire cleanse gave me a better understanding of myself, of my constitution, and gave me the knowledge of what works for me, what food work for me. And I thought this cleanse will be so difficult to do, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Good.
But Colette, you truly been with me every day. You follow up with me and kept me accountable on that cleanse too, with your loving kindness. You kept me on right track.
So, yeah, I remember that even in week one of the cleanse, the preparation week, that you were already feeling like the getting rid of the caffeine and sugar, eliminating
Yeah.
that gradually, that you said you're already feeling emotionally stronger.
Yes, yes. And that was a big thing, eliminating actually caffeine,
Mm-hmm.
sugar, and alcohol too, the three things.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
just in the elimination week, the first preparation week of the cleanse, you're already feeling the benefits of not having those crutches that you were using throughout the day, because you were foregoing lunch, but you'd have a coffee or a sweet snack,
Yeah.
right? To keep you
Yeah.
going.
Yes. And the interesting thing is, I never thought I drank a lot of coffee till I started doing that elimination week,
Yeah.
where the first 2-3 days were difficult. I was having headaches and, feeling cranky, not feeling myself at all, but it was just getting coffee out of my system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of
It's
course,
amazing, isn't it?
it's amazing. It's amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
after a couple of days, it was all good. And I
Yeah.
felt much more clear, calmer.
Right.
I realized how bad coffee was for my body.
Yeah, our body gets really used to that crutch of caffeine, and that's why I allow a whole week to gradually eliminate, because it does have a real effect, especially for drinking a lot of caffeine daily, and that's accumulated in our body. So eliminating that is a challenge, but you kind of have to just go through it and keep well hydrated so you don't get those caffeine withdrawal headaches and so on. But yeah, it's a process. And like you said, it really makes you realize how much your body's reliant on caffeine and the effect it has on your body.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And it's not only coffee, it's also black tea, it's green tea. There is a lot of caffeine
Right.
that we consume every day
Yeah. Yeah,
and don't realize.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, sometimes we don't think of the green tea as caffeine, but yeah, it all accumulates in the body. And then
mm-hmm.
again, looking back through the notes, I remember in week 2, you were said that like you said, you were enjoying the cleanse process because at the start you were a little
Yeah,
concerned,
yeah,
not
yeah.
knowing obviously what was to come. And in one of your emails, I just saw today that you said, I've never spent so much time on myself. It's really nice. And that you were surprised of how full you stayed throughout the day with no cravings for
Yeah,
sugar or caffeine.
yes. And that's another thing too, because I'm a type of person that gets hungry fast or eat like
Hmm.
that. And I gotta eat something or have some snacks. And it's not good for me to miss meals. And so I was afraid that with this cleanse, I'll be like, I'll be hungry. It's not a lot
Right.
of food. I'll be starving. But I was
Yeah.
not at all. I
Yeah.
was shocked how full I was the whole time. And what I realized, because um, we incorporated a lot of ghee during cleanse
Hmm.
in my meals. In every meal, you put a lot of ghee, and it's a healthy fat, and that's what kept me full.
Right. Exactly.
And
And you didn't have a whole lot of fat in your diet before, so you didn't have that
no.
experience. That's why you were getting very hungry very fast. One of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons was because you didn't have enough fat to keep you satiated in your meals. And for your particular constitution, you need that fat in your diet. And yeah, so it's great to experience it, isn't it? And that's the thing
Yeah.
about the cleanse, because I can tell you things and give you advice and consultations, but when you experience these changes and, viscerally in your body, it really has a big impact. And I know you said
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
during the cleanse week, you have energy, you have clarity, and you really felt calm even on the intense work days.
Yes, yes, and I was surprised about that too, because well, first of all, I think it helped that I was making food for myself. I've never done this where I would wake up in the morning and make breakfast and of course prepare lunch for myself, and then
Uh-huh.
have snacks. And so but a lot of the days, like the morning and evening routine, was evolved about taking care of myself,
Mm.
which I haven't really done that. And so that was really nice to just, okay, doing yoga every morning or meditating. And so that would prep me for the day of work. And then having food that I didn't have to worry about, where do I get my food, or where do I get my snack, or
Right.
yes, yeah. And all the food was very, easy to digest, of course. So my digestive system was good the whole time.
Mm.
The teas you have recommended worked great.
Yeah. So, and that was important for your constitution. You were, as we said, traveling a lot, and your vata would get aggravated by even just that mobility, that mobile quality being aggravated in the car all day. So, bringing in mindfulness practices in the morning and evening was really important to help with your sleep and to calm the nervous system. With week 3, then you said you really felt a huge difference in how you feel, your mind as well. You found your mind very clear and calm, you said, and even how you look, you felt the difference in and how you felt in your body.
Oh yes, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And cleanse truly, that your Vedic cleanse truly work. I mean, my husband could see the results.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Often people around you will
yeah.
really notice not only
Mhm.
physically that you're glowing, but also your energy.
And energy, yes. But
Yeah,
I could, of course, I slept great the whole time.
great.
Um, I felt, I felt surprisingly energetic the whole time. Of course, I would get tired in the evening, but that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
But my skin was glowing. I could tell my body was more trim. I probably lost some weight. Yes, yeah, I felt a huge difference, and I could physically see it.
Great. And then I know post cleanse, when you're, implementing the new foods and so on, you're keeping up with your habits. But you said that your food choices were a lot better. Of course, you had all this awareness now, and that the sugar and sweets didn't even taste good to you anymore.
That's right. Yes.
That was amazing.
Yeah. I did not want coffee. Yes, I did not want it. And I tried some sweets and or cake. I think I tried a cake and it tastes awful. And so now, of course, my food choices are much better because I know what's good for my body. I know how my body reacts to a particular food and what it prefers. And it's not only about the body, it's also about the mind, because some food will make you feel sluggish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And, and sugar, of course, will give you that high, just like caffeine, they'll give you that rush, but then you'll have a crash. And then it's a cycle, you might have caffeine and then you're going to have a crash and then you crave sugar and then it's a crash. So it's really up and down, and it's very hard on the nervous system as well. And, during the cleanse, your taste buds are becoming really sensitive because they're literally going through a cleanse as well. So any sugar or any other foods the taste buds are really heightened and sensitive post cleanse, which is always interesting.
Yeah. It is. I remember eating my first regular meal and it just did not taste that good.
Okay.
Yeah, but then after a while it started tasting all good.
I'm going to jump in here to tell you some very exciting news. I'm finally hosting a Ayurveda rejuvenation retreat in Bali with Dr. Sujata from Amrita Siddhi Ayurvedic Clinic. That's where I worked from 2014 to 2015. And finally, after all these years of talking about it, we're going to do a retreat together. The dates are December 4th to 10th, 2023. It's an all-inclusive retreat. You'll get consultations, Ayurvedic medicines, treatments, Ayurvedic food, and you'll be in this beautiful healing cocoon of Amrita Siddhi Ayurvedic Clinic. You can check out the video and all the details on my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. Just click on the link in the show notes or visit my website and click on the events tab. And I hope to see you in Bali in December. And so tell me, if there's anything else you want to add about your cleanse journey, but also how since now July, how this has made shifts in your life.
My choices are much better. So, this cleanse really helped me to make my daily choices are much better and wiser about what's good for my mind and body. So, and what works for me. So I do stick to cooked meals. I use the healthy fats, and I use more, of course, I use ghee and olive oil and coconut oil, but I use way more healthy fats in my diet than I've ever had before. I don't do much sugar, and I really don't do coffee anymore. So it's so much easier to make a better choice now than it was before.
Yeah. And especially, like you said, when you have that feeling of the effects these choices like caffeine or sugar had on your body. And, then you start thinking, well, is it worth it? And do I want to go down that road again? Right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. And of course I would indulge sometimes here and there, but I implement your rule of 80-20. So if I have that 20, I don't know if I am at the party or a gathering and I have I don't know, maybe not the healthiest option, then I eat healthy the rest of the week.
Yeah, I think that's great. I really am a believer in not being too rigid because that brings so much stress with it. And it's no fun, life, the food and so on, and getting together with people. It's all about enjoyment. So being flexible. And when you're in a situation where there's nothing really available, you just go with the flow, or you just have that meal that you've been, that's that meal that's not exactly great for your constitution, but you really enjoy it. And then the next day, get back on track again. And I think that's the way to do it. Like to have no guilt, no shame, enjoy the treats. And it's all, the trick is to get back on the routines and the regular eating schedule once things have calmed down, or once you're back from vacation or whatever. And talking about vacation, you just went on vacation. So how was it traveling for you?
Well, one thing I did a lot, where I do it daily, really, and it's one of the habits I would recommend for everybody is I drink hot water with lemon every day in the morning, the first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So I drink it. I do hot water with lemon. If some people don't like hot water, I guess room temperature would be fine too. Mm-hmm. But that really helps me with my digestive system when I travel too.
Yeah, exactly.
When I travel, I notice my digestive system can get a little bit off. A little bit off, and it's not the same as when I'm at home, because the time zones are different, the schedules are different.
And the mobile quality of Vata is aggravated. Yeah. So that mobile quality of Vata gets really aggravated. And so if you have a high Vata constitution, that always happens when you'll travel. So that tip of having hot water to hydrate you in the morning, to stimulate your bowel movement, and to stimulate the digestive fire.
Mm-hmm. And then I will stay away from coffee as much as I can.
Great.
As well. So I stay away from, because I know it's very drying, which traveling is very drying too.
Yes.
And again, I try to, the foods because I usually order the food. So for meals, I'll try to choose the healthier options, stay away from dry foods. It's all cooked, and lots of vegetables or seafood and fish. I do not eat meat, and I haven't had that in a long time. But I try to just choose healthier foods if possible, and try to have some sort of routine even while traveling.
Yes, that is important, isn't it? Even while traveling, having a little routine is great.
Yeah. A time when I wake up, a time when I go to bed. And I try to go to bed no matter where I am. I try to be in bed by 10 o'clock.
Excellent. Yeah.
Or asleep at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And getting on that time zone as soon as you get there, it's all really helpful, keeping well hydrated and keeping somewhat of a routine, and doing your best to choose healthy options when you're eating out, and sticking with cooked foods. That's really great to do. Sounds like you've done really well on, this is the first time we've spoke since you've been traveling in August, and sounds like you've done really well in keeping up with the practices and even with traveling. So well done. That's really great.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. And before we finish up here, Renata, is there anything else that you want to share? You already gave some great advice and tips, but anything else you'd like to share with the listeners before we finish up?
Well, I wanted to share that I truly believe that the 21 day, I believe, right, the Ayurvedic cleanse with you, Colette, is a must. So if anyone that's thinking about doing a cleanse should not truly wait for the right moment and just do it. Just call you and do it, because it's not only restart your digestive system and cleanse your toxins, but it's truly what teaches you more about Ayurveda and helps you to get in tune with your body, because it's a more in-depth step in understanding what's right for you, what's good for you. Because not only you get rid of toxins in the beginning when you do it, and you get to the point where you realize, okay, how good I can feel when my body is rid of those toxins.
Yeah, absolutely. Feeling your body and mind in balance. That's huge post-cleanse, isn't it? And that then can be your foundation.
And it can be, yes. And then that also helps you to stick to a healthy habits.
Yeah. I think that's it. You're experiencing these changes in your body rather than just learning about them. You're actually feeling them.
Yes. Because it's easy to get back to a bad habit. Coffee, of course, tastes amazing. Alcohol tastes great, and the cake and sugar tastes great. But when you experience the cleanse and you realize, wow, I feel so much better without all of that. And not only you start feeling better, you start looking better. You almost want to stay on that road.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because you know what it's like when you're off track, and you just want to keep, it's such an incentive. Once you feel your body and mind in balance, it's such an incentive to stay on track going forward.
Yeah. So I believe cleanses basically helps you to get it on track, on that right road.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And to have someone like you, Colette, who can lead you through that, keep you accountable, and be with you every step, that's amazing. So I'm very happy I did it. I'm very happy I found your podcast and got in touch with you. And I'd say it's been a life-changing journey.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Renata.
Thank you, Colette.
I appreciate it. And thank you for sharing your story here today. I think it really helps people when they're trying to decide on their path with Ayurveda and what to expect as well. And just this insight from you today, because it is the unknown. Like you said, before you started the cleanse, you were concerned. Oh gosh, am I going to be hungry? I'm going to be working through this. Am I going to have enough food? And we all have those concerns when we're going into a program like this, that's just the unknown. So I appreciate you sharing your story today.
But it's a very safe way to do a cleanse, and it's a very good way to do a cleanse. It's truly, whoever's listening should not wait for a right time or a moment, because there will be never a right time or a moment. Just do it. Just do it. If you want to feel better and look better and
Yeah. Well, thank you, Renata. Absolutely. It's always beneficial to do a cleanse that's tailored to you. And it's always a great thing to do for your body and mind. So Renata, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. Thank you for sharing your story.
You're very welcome, Colette. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise. And until next time, take good care of yourself and keep up the great effort.
All right. Thank you, Colette.
Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye.
Ciao. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Renata. And if you would like to go on your own healing journey, I do have an upcoming discounted group cleanse starting October 6th. And if that date of October 6th does not work for your schedule, then you can choose a private cleanse just like Renata did. And both the cleanse, the private and the group, come with a 90-minute consultation so that I can tailor the cleanse to you and your lifestyle. And the private cleanse, of course, you get to choose your own dates, and you get me one-on-one for support. And the group cleanse, there's the set date, the start date of the next one, October 6th. And it's a group support. There's a private community where we hold each other accountable and support each other. You can find the link to that in the show notes or visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. And for the group event, go to the events page. And for the private cleanse, go to programs. You'll also find information on my consultations and my educational daily habits for holistic health self-paced online program. If you haven't already followed the podcast, please do so, and the new episodes will automatically download for you. And if you would like to rate and review the podcast wherever you listen to the episodes, I would really appreciate that. It will help us spread this information of Ayurveda. You can also find me on social media under Elements Healing and Wellbeing on Facebook, and my new Instagram page is the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.